If you have followed the NBA for a while, then you might be aware that Season 5 has often been a year of substantial growth for some of the league's all-time best. We saw it play out that way for Kawhi Leonard, who finished second in MVP voting in his fifth NBA season after primarily being just a defensive ace the prior couple years. Kobe Bryant increased his scoring average by 6 points in his fifth year with the Lakers. That was essentially when the debate started as to who between he and Shaq was truly LA's number one option. Kevin Garnett skyrocketed in his fifth season to finish second in MVP voting that year. Allen Iverson won the MVP award in his fifth season. Although it was year 6 for Steph Curry when he won his first of 2 straight MVP awards while leading the Warriors to their first of 4 NBA titles in 8 years, year 5 was when he made his first All-Star appearance. The most recent major fifth-year rise was by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who averaged 31.5 points that year, a 7-point increase from the prior season. Those are just a few examples. Paolo Banchero is now about to enter his 5th NBA season, and based on what he has said in some off-season interviews, he sounds extremely motivated to join that list of all-time great players who make a massive year 5 jump. Last year there were some things Paolo did very well, and some things he struggled being consistent with. Among the things he did extremely well was his spray-out passing. Now this is a very tricky category to assess because it takes 2 to tango when it comes to shooting percentages off kickouts. But through eye test alone, we saw Paolo make excellent reads after making a play towards the basket. Frequently after seeing the opponent crowd him with multiple bodies, he would quickly find an open teammate around the arc, which led to many of Orlando's best 3-point looks. Some interesting player stats was that Franz Wagner made 6 of his 7 3-point attempts last season off Paolo sprayouts. There were only 7 attempts mainly because Paolo and Franz appeared in just 24 regular season games together. The most memorable Paolo kickout to Franz for 3 occurred late in Game 3 of Orlando's first-round playoff series against Detroit that helped seal the win. Anthony Black went 18 of 36, which is 50%, and Desmond Bane went 15 of 32, which is 46.9%. Another striking thing about Paolo last season was that he took more of his shots closer to the basket than further out. A career most 29.4% of his shot attempts came in the restricted area, an 8% increase from the prior year, and the 339 shots he attempted in that region were 10th most in the league. With his blend of power and finesse, he draws a lot of shooting fouls, as we all know, which has always been something he's excelled at. He actually drew the most shooting fouls in the league last year, with 300 of them. He shot a career best 77.5% from the stripe as well. He spent a little more time operating from the post last season, where he made a career best 47.5% of his shot attempts. The prior year, that mark was at 39%. What went under the radar a little bit last year was Paolo's perimeter shooting off the catch. Now this is a complicated discussion because to maximize Paolo's skills as a playmaker and shot creator, he needs to be in a point forward role. But what is also true is that he's a better standstill catch and shoot threat than he gets credit for. On 81 stationary catch and shoot 3-point attempts last season, he shot 40.8%. The last 2 seasons combined, he's made 41% of his 139 attempts. He really made significant improvement with his corner 3-point shooting. He shot 42.9% from the corners in 2025-26. The prior year, he shot 28%, and the year before that, which was 2023-24, he shot 25%. As far as areas where he struggled or just simply wasn't as consistent, the biggest one was his pull-up and step-back jump shooting. This past year, he shot 29.3% on pull-ups and step-backs combined, which ranked in the bottom 10 among the 134 players with at least 100 of these attempts. From 3-point range on pull-ups and step-backs, that mark for Paolo was 22.9%. So essentially, it was the shooting out of ISOs from outside the paint where he struggled to get into a consistent rhythm. This is an intricate subject because shot making is the most glaring and glamorous part of basketball, so when a primary shot creator doesn't shoot it at a high clip off the dribble, it does stand out more. However, Paolo is so good at getting into the paint with that combination of power and finesse, and he's so good at drawing fouls and making plays for others, that you want him to be a primary initiator of the offense most of the time. One thing he didn't do as much last year compared to 2024-25 was finish through contact. He converted on 19% of his N1 opportunities, 5% lower than the prior year. Turnovers were an issue sometimes as well. In the lost ball category, he had the second most. Only Jaylen Brown recorded more. Although he's not necessarily known for his defense, Paolo took on the challenge, especially after the All-Star break, of guarding the other team's top scorers at times last season. We saw this in the 2 games the Magic played against the Lakers, with Paolo matching up against Luka Doncic. He also spent a lot of time guarding Kevin Durant in a game against the Rockets, Jalen Johnson in a couple games against the Hawks, and James Harden in a couple games against the Cavs. His rebounding was excellent. He averaged a career most 8.4 of them in 2025-26, twice pulling down 16 of them, and another 2 times grabbing 15 of them. Paolo came up clutch a few times last season. He had this tying hoop and harm bucket with 5 seconds left against the Blazers on November 10th. He came up with a steal on Drew Holiday on Portland's ensuing possession, which set up Desmond Bane's winning buzzer beater. Here he put Orlando ahead with 7.5 seconds left at Indiana on New Year's Eve. And then at Brooklyn on January 7th, he banked in a buzzer-beating three-pointer in overtime to beat the Nets. One of the unique things about Paolo is that many of his best games have come on the road, and that's especially true during the playoffs. In postseason road games in his career, he's shooting 49.2% from the field overall and 46.2% from three-point range. Among the 47 players who have taken at least 63s on the road in the playoffs the last 3 years, Paolo's mark ranks number 1. He has scored over 30 points in 6 of his 11 road playoff games, including putting up 45 in Game 5 last year at Detroit. This past regular season, he averaged 22.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 0.7 steals, and 0.6 blocks. He had 26 double-doubles and 3 triple-doubles. Those came on December 18th at Denver, December 29th at Toronto, and April 12th at Boston. He now has 5 triple-doubles in his career, second most in Magic history behind Elfrid Payton's 8. So that'll wrap up this video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe.